Hello, trading is closed on the 9th of October 2025. We always start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls and then make our predictions. Overnight futures haven't opened yet, and I have personal business tonight, so I really haven't had much time to look at things, but I don't think too much has changed. Just remember, it's a plan at this point. We've been saying that we're more interested in not entering a short position too soon than we are in calling the exact high, although today could have been it. And please trade at your own risk, because I can be completely wrong. We said yesterday was a negative pattern, but all it would take to invalidate the negativity of the pattern was to gap over these highs, and that's what we did. And we said that wouldn't be too hard. We called for the pattern with the early high, which is this tomorrow should have the early low. This is a reminder of what we said. We're coming close to our day. We said Friday, October 10th, give or take a little. It's a reasonable target for a high. We hit a new target, we hit a new high today on the 9th, which is within the range. If I'm off by a day, I'm off. But it's within the range. We said give or take a little. And there were a number of signs compatible with the top here. We hit a new all-time high, and then we took out the number of prior highs. That's really a sign of churning at the high, as is hitting a new all-time high and closing in the red, but it really hasn't been confirmed yet. I mean, we can gap over this tomorrow and kill the whole thing. Ideal would be if we gapped under these lows and maybe under these, but either one of those things have happened yet. So far it's acting right. The idea hasn't been killed, but it's tough to stand in front of a freight train going higher. And until we get some confirmation, we're gonna keep a lot of our powder dry. If we do get the confirmation, there should be plenty of times to enter short positions. Well, MEJT said this drop is a false move. We came back to this line, which is what it called for, but then we dropped again. It says that move is also false. Gives us a target of 67.41.43. Now, if we don't gap down smartly tomorrow, that'll have to be the call. Just remember that major changes in trend, and this is a candidate, the system will almost always leave a failed target behind. So actually, I like the fact that this didn't print, and maybe it won't. All we really have to do is to gap under these lows to seal the deal pretty much, but that hasn't happened yet. We got an ultimate sell signal in the afternoon. It's enough to satisfy it. Almost always you're going to get more. So almost always you're going to undercut this low. And if we do it by gapping under it, that's an if. And if we hold on to it through the close, everything should be working, but it hasn't happened yet. We had a higher target, and that's already played out. We already have seen DeMarc's indicators on sell signals. I mean, here's the daily chart. This was bar number 13 here, and this is another candidate for one of these bars which don't have to obey all the rules. And don't forget, we don't have to go to bar 13 on any of the indicators or any of the other indicators. We're going to probably hit bar 13 for real on the weekly chart tomorrow. And if it works, the ideal situation is to drop right from the end of bar 13. So the ideal situation, not a requirement, but ideal, is to start dropping immediately, either tomorrow or early next week. And again, that hasn't happened yet. We're looking for it. We think if it plays out, it'll be great on the short side, but it hasn't happened yet. I don't think the wave count has been killed. It's just a little bit higher than I'd like, but if we can hold on to today's high and start dropping, I'm willing to forgive and forget. We now have a few major league trend lines here which came to a point. This one goes back to the 2020 low and hits all these highs and hits right here. These meeting points of trend lines, that's where things tend to run out of steam, especially if you run up to it in a straight line. That's where these rallies usually end. Now, it's still possible to kill the whole idea. If we gap up over today's high and keep going up, it's going to be pretty tough to see how we drop from here unless it gets reversed immediately. I mean, this is very strong resistance. We have the DeMark indicators. We have too many calls being purchased. At this point, if we don't go higher, we still have a good wave count and Fibonacci ratios. We had all we need until we dropped all day and closed over all these highs, all these lows. We dropped all day, closed over the lows. That's a bullish pattern, and we have this target. I mean, all we need to do, as far as I'm concerned, is to invalidate this recovery by gapping under these lows tomorrow and holding on to it. And that hasn't happened. It has not happened yet. But if it happens, a big drop right at the open with a gap, it's going to be hard for me to see how we recover. But if we can gap over this and hold it, I'm not certain we're going to drop at all. Of course, we don't have to gap, but this is a critical area for me. This is my time. This is my price. We have to see if it works, and we don't have to risk money until we know. Friday's pattern has the early low regardless of where we open. Typically, it's a rally day with a final hour high, but if it's weak, more weakness should follow. The ideal situation for the bears is a big drop right from the open, and if that happens, I don't think we can recover. But again, it hasn't happened yet. So this is my plan. There's a higher MEJT target unless we gap down smartly. The rules call for it to print. A failed target typically is seen at major changes in trend, so it could fail. Now, today's all-time high reverse from the meeting point of trend lines was within a day of the October 10th target area. Bears came close to sealing the deal, but the day-long drop closed over multiple prior lows, and if maintained at the open, it should lead to higher prices regardless of where we close. Now, gapping down under today's lows, if it occurs, would need only to get follow-through to confirm a top was in with a stop over the all-time high. But if we gap over the all-time high, today's high of day, if it occurs, would invalidate today's action, break through the trend lines, and probably mess up the Fib ratios in my wave count. Of course, we don't have to gap at all, but this is pretty much time for the bears to fish or gut bait. We need to start dropping, ideally by gapping down tomorrow, if the idea for a top is going to work. There's some leeway on this. I mean, if it happens Monday or Tuesday, I'm not gonna be upset. But if we can't manage a drop with indicators like this, we might not get one at all. So it's a critical time. We have my time. We have my price. We have the DeMark stuff. We have an ultimate sell, which usually is going to take you under this low, probably leave this target behind, and if there's early weakness tomorrow, it should lead to more weakness. All the bears need, is to gap under this low and start dropping, and things should play out. But until it happens, it's always possible the idea fails, so we'll have to see. Don't forget, if it works, there's plenty of time to jump on the train. We gap up over this, I'm just going to have to be thankful I didn't sell the family heirlooms to take a heavy position already. Right now I'm flat overnight, and I'm going to see what happens. It's a pattern with the early low, and that's today's call.